Hi, ladybugs. How are we doing? Hold on. Kick something. There we go. I'm doing good. Boy, do I have a topic for tonight's video. Angie and I were having a discussion, and I was like, oh, you know what? This ties right into my topic with the Reborn girls, with my ladybugs. So I thought it would be a really great topic to discuss on this video. And it's something that plays into our lives. And I know it plays into a lot of the ladies in the Reborn community's lives. So it's a great topic, and we're going to discuss it today. Today, we're going to address Ivy Jane and Asha. Yes, I think we're going to put this on Ivy Jane because it's so cute. And we need something for Asha. Asha. I'm just being silly. I think we'll try this on Asha. I hope this would fit her. This is so cute. Look how cute that is. So cute. Okay. So what we were discussing is that we've sort of had some judgment in our lives. Hold on. I got to move Bingy. He came a little too far into the room. Hold on one second. So what I was saying is we've had a lot of judgment from people in our lives. Well, about the Reborns, obviously. But more than that, about the dogs. One of our children has been very judgmental and very crass about the dogs, saying that we have too many and this, that, and the other thing. And here's how I respond to that. Okay, so first of all, let me just say it's your life, and whatever makes you happy is your choice. One of the things that I think we all want is social acceptance. But my view, having the disease that I have and having almost died a couple of times in my life, is that life is too short to be unhappy. And if it makes you happy and it doesn't hurt anyone, then it's nobody's business. But here's the bigger issue. I was having a conversation with one of my daughters who was saying we had too many dogs and that, you know, we could be traveling and doing other things if we didn't have all these animals to spend money on and to take care of. And you know what? She's right. We could be traveling. We could be doing other things with our money, with the little money that we have. This is what she was wearing. Isn't this cute? And she's right. We could. But that's not what we choose to do. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think it's anyone's place, especially our children, because we have never neglected our children. We've always put them first. I devoted my whole life to raising my kids and Angie's kids. And so, you know, when my kids grew up and moved out, everyone except for Toot, you know, I felt very empty and sort of barren because I had spent so many years and so much time and given so much of myself to raising my kids. And so it was kind of like this, well, what do I do now? You know, I didn't really want to get a job because it would have just been a menial, low-paying job because I have not much work experience because I've spent so much time raising my children and other people's children. And we thought about, you know, having another child, not when the kids were grown, but when they were in their teenage years, we thought about having another child. But, you know, I didn't want to do that. And I had given so much of myself and so much of my time and effort and energy and money into raising my kids that when they didn't need me anymore, there really was this sense of loss and sort of this barren landscape of my life that I was like, you know, what am I going to do now? You know, what do I do with my time? You know, I didn't want to sit around and do nothing. And then we got into fostering dogs and I got into the Reborns, which, by the way, I didn't get into until 2018 or 2019. I can't remember which. I think it was 2018. So it's only been 8 years that I've been into Reborns. But you know, fostering the dogs and, you know, playing with my babies and having my paper crafts, it's really given me another, like a second purpose in my life. Now, could we be doing other things with our time, energy, and money and house? Sure, we could. There's no limit to what we could do. Well, the limit is money, but I mean, there's, you know, we could pretty much choose to do anything we could afford to do. But this is what we choose to do. You know, this is our life. We've this, you know, one of the things I told my daughter, and I mean this wholeheartedly, is that I don't know if this will last forever. You know, I don't know if this mission of saving dogs and rescuing dogs is something we'll want to do forever. I don't even know if the reborns are forever. I'm not a future fortune teller. I can't tell what the future holds. What I can say is that right now, at this point in our lives, this is the mission we choose. This is the journey that we're on. And we're not asking anyone else to take part in it. You know what I mean? We're not asking our children to take part in it. I mean, obviously, Toot has to take part in it a little bit because she lives here, so the dogs are around. But we don't ask her to take care of them. We don't ask her to do it for us. You know, we feed them, we walk them, we take them outside. You know, we don't ask her to do those things. And so here's my thought process on that. If it doesn't affect anyone else and it's not hurting you, there are three criteria for judgment, I think, in this world. Number one, does it hurt you or someone else? Either physically, emotionally, mentally, or financially. And we all know that reborns hurt everybody financially. But the other things. Two, are you asking anyone else to be involved? Are you putting it on someone else? Like if you get a bunch of animals and then you make somebody else take care of them, then it's their business. And three, is it something you're choosing to do or is it something you're forced to do? So if those three things, if you can answer no to those three criteria, that's what I call my judgment criteria, then nobody has a right to say anything to you. Number one, does it hurt you or someone else? Number two, are you asking anyone else to partake in it? And number three, what was number three? I just totally lost my train of thought. Are you forced or is it optional? Those are the three things. If you can say no to all of those, no, it doesn't hurt you or somebody else. No, you're not asking other people to partake in it. And no, you're not forced to do it. Then nobody has a right to say anything to you. As long as you're adhering to those three standards that I think could constitute a justification of judgment, then nobody has a right to say anything to you. You know, do the reborns hurt you or someone else? No. Do the dogs hurt you or someone else? No. Am I asking other people to partake in it? No. I'm not asking anyone to partake in my dolls, my dog, or my dogs. I take care of the dogs myself. I take good care of them. I'm capable of taking care of them, so they're not being neglected. And I'm not forced to do it. I'm choosing to do it. So as long as those three things are in order, nobody has a right to say anything to you about what you do with your life. It's your choice. And like I said, could we be doing other things with our time and money and energy? Yes, we could. But that's not what we choose to do with our lives right now. Now, like I said, I don't know if this will last forever. I don't know if this is something we'll want to do 15 years from now. I don't know if we'll still be into, rescuing animals. Because before the dogs, it was chameleons and turtles and chinchillas. I mean, we've rescued all kinds of animals, not just dogs. I don't know if this is something we'll want to do forever. It is a lot of work and it's emotionally draining, when you have animals that either don't make it or have been severely mistreated. But right now in our lives, right at this very moment, we're happy with what we're doing. And it doesn't hurt us and we're not asking other people to partake in it. So really is nobody else's business. And that's kind of how you guys can approach the reborn thing. If people are being judgmental about your dolls, you can ask them those three questions. Am I forced to do it or am I choosing to do it? Does it harm me or anybody else? And am I asking you to partake in it? And if the answer is no, then they have no right to say anything to you. Life is too short to be unhappy. That's something I absolutely know from personal experience, that life is very short and you are never guaranteed another day. Okay, none of us are. So while you're here, try to be as happy as possible. And if playing with dolls makes you happy, that is a very small thing in a very big world, and it's not harmful. So really no one has a right to judge you for it. So I just thought I would bring that up because I'm just going to scoot Evie over. There you go, Ev. Because it does. It kind of ties into the reborns and how people can approach people who are not accepting. Like I've always said, I am very blessed to have a family that wholeheartedly supports, not all of my family. There are members of my family that don't support the dolls. Very few, but there are a couple. One in particular. And the way I respond to that is the same way I'm telling you to respond to it. You have your hobbies. This is mine. I'm not asking you to partake in it. It doesn't hurt me or anybody else. And I'm choosing it. So that's kind of how I respond to it. She has not responded very positively to that stance, but that's my stance. This is my life. I'm the only one that has to live it. Now, obviously, if there are people in your home who live with you, you do have to put a little bit of consideration into their opinions because they live with you. But if you're not asking them to, like if your dolls are all over the house and it's affecting everybody's ability to move around, you have dolls, so many dolls that people can't walk, or you're putting them on your parents' bed, then your parents have a right to say something. If the dolls are invading their space. But if that's not the case, if you're keeping the dolls in your space and you're not asking them to partake and it's not affecting their lives, I would just bring that up. And then also bring up the hobbies that they have and say, well, you do this. I don't understand that. I don't think it's a good hobby, but it's not my choice. It's your hobby. So there are ways to approach that issue. Again, obviously, like if your little sister is complaining about the dolls and you've cluttered her room up with baby stuff without her consent, then she definitely has a right to say something about the dolls. But aside from that, if you're keeping the dolls in your space and you're not asking anyone else to partake and it's not hurting anyone, my feeling is nobody has a right to say anything. And it's the same thing with our dogs. Yes, we have 8 dogs. Yes, that's a lot of dogs. But it's what we choose to do with our lives right now. You know, and somebody said to me, you think that you can change the world. No, I don't think I can change the world. But you know what? I changed Bingy's world. And we changed Tiny's world. And we changed Nini's world. And we changed Chuggy's world. And we changed Kobe's world. I don't think that rescuing animals is going to change the world or have any massive global impact. But I do know that Bingy's world is changed because of us. That he went from a dog who was abused and starved and neglected and cold and afraid and alone to a dog who is healthy and fed and warm and safe and loved. And that changes his world. So while I'm not trying to change the world, I am trying to change some worlds. And I'm succeeding. So, you know, having been in a situation where people that I love have been judgmental of both my dolls and my dogs, or my animals, not necessarily just dogs, but animals, I can tell you that bringing it back to logic, keeping the emotion out of it, bringing it back to logic and asking those questions and bringing up their hobbies is the best way to combat that problem. Always bring it back to logic, because whenever you bring emotion into something, no matter what it is, it's going to be more complicated and there's going to be more wiggle room, because emotion is subjective. It is not objective. And you want to keep your arguments about your dolls objective. Number 1, how does it affect you? Number 2, does it hurt me or anybody else? And number 3, is it something I'm choosing? And when they realize how trivial playing with dolls is in the grand scheme of the world, it becomes a lot harder to argue with. But again, keep emotion out of it. Okay? Because emotion makes everything more complicated. Bring it back to logistics. I mean, you do have to bring emotion into it a little bit because you have to say things like, this makes me happy. Don't you want me to be happy? But keep it on a logistic level. You always have a stronger argument when you're looking at objective logistical issues rather than emotional issues, because again, emotions are subjective. So I just wanted to bring that up because Angie and I had something we were discussing. We were discussing how people have judged us for our many animals. Because right now we only have the 8 dogs and the turtle and the chinchilla, Jericho. But there was a time when we had 3 chameleons, 4 frogs, 2 chinchillas, 7 dogs, and a turtle. So we had lots more animals than we have now. Angie was the lizard mommy, and she decided after our last chameleon passed away that she just didn't want to do chameleons anymore for a while. And I totally respect that decision. And if there comes a time that we decide that we don't want to take in more dogs and we just want to live out with what we have, that's okay too. We don't have, just because we decide to do this now doesn't mean we have to do this forever. There may come a time when we decide that, you know, this is just our time at saving animals is done. And you know what? That'll be okay too, because that's our choice. I don't foresee that happening in the near future, but it doesn't mean it won't happen. Again, I'm not a fortune teller, so I can't tell what the future will hold. But right now, we're happy with what we're doing, and it's good for us. And we're helping the animals. And that's all that matters right at this very moment. There is nothing else that matters right now. And it's the same thing for you guys and your dolls if you have that issue with your family or friends. You can say to them, you know what? I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know if I'll be into the dolls forever. But right now, this makes me happy. And it serves a purpose for me. And I'm sorry that you don't understand that. But you don't have to understand it because I'm not asking you to take part in it. Look how cute. Hi, aunties. Do you like my outfit? I think they love your outfit, Ivy Jane. Ivy Jane is the Betty by Natalie Blick. She is a stander. She needs armatures, though, because she stands well, but she kind of falls forward. So I usually have to lean her against the corner of something, like a wall. But she's very cute. Whoops. There we go. Just like that. But she does have the straight legs and can stand. And she's awful cute. Huh. I love the way she's painted. I don't even know who painted her, but I love the way she's painted. Look at that. Look at that face. I love blushing. I'm into the blushing. I don't like pale babies. I really like a lot of blushing. Pink cheeks, pink elbows, pink knees, a little pink on the chin and nose. It's perfect for me. I really like blushed babies. And I know a lot of people don't, but I really do. I like red-cheeked babies, I have to admit. What do you guys think? Do you guys like blushing, or do you like your babies to be a little less blushed? Like Carter has really, really bright red cheeks, and I love his painting. I think he's so cute. I wish all my babies had this kind of blushing. I love the little flushed look. So cute. Look at that face. Auntie, I love you. Look at how cute you are. You look so pretty. Give me a kiss. Okay, don't get slobber on my phone, okay? Come here. I was looking at a video of Bingy the other day when we got him. I don't know if you guys remember, but I did the massage videos of Bingy. And oh my gosh, he's so different. I remember I was watching and the bones are sticking out and he's like got almost no hair. And now he's got a full coat. He's got a healthy coat and he's got no bones sticking out and he just looks like $1,000,000 compared to the way he used to look. I mean, it's just amazing, the difference. So that really warmed my heart. And here's Miss Asha, and she is the Asha Kit by Ping Lao. She's another one of my blush cuties. Isn't she cute? She is so cute. I love the expressive babies. I think that's why I'm so taken by the Ping Lao babies, because they are so expressive. She does expression really, really beautifully. And it's hard. I think it's a lot easier to sculpt expressive babies like newborns than it is to sculpt expressive toddlers. And I love the work that she does. Her babies are so beautiful. And she does such a good job getting those expressions without looking weird. You know what I mean? There are a few dolls, and I can't think like off the top of my head of a kit that has an expression, but there are a few where it's almost weird looking, frozen in time. You have to have a real talent to sculpt an expression like a smile or a laugh or a frown frozen in time and have it not look weird. You know what I mean? Or kind of creepy. And she does a beautiful job at that. She does a gorgeous job making it look very natural, even though it's frozen in time. Because I think what's creepy about some dolls is that if the expression is not just right, you know, as human beings, we don't just sit there with an expression for long periods of time. Expressions kind of move and change in seconds. And so to have one just kind of frozen in time, it is kind of weird and a little bit unsettling. So you have to be really good at doing the expression. And Natalie Blick is really good at it, and Ping Lao is really good at it, about getting those expressions frozen in time without looking really weird and creepy. And Timmerman does really good with the toddlers too. So does Jenny DeLange and Regina Swolakowski. Bonnie Brown, she does okay. I don't love all of her sculpts, but she does okay. I'm trying to think who else. There's a lot of other sculptors, but those are the ones that I mainly know about. Joanna Kazmiak. I don't know that she's done a few toddlers. I don't think I have any of her toddlers, but I don't dislike her work. I just don't happen to haven't fallen in love with her work. Andrea Arcello is really good. Her Maisie is probably the most beautiful smiling baby I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Like frozen in time, it's just perfect. Laura Tuzio Ross with Cody Bear, she did an amazing job with him. So there are a lot of really good sculptors, but Ping Lao is probably the one that I collect the most. I have a lot of Ping Lao babies. And I absolutely love my Ping Lao collection. She does a really good job at getting her expressive babies to look very natural and not at all creepy. So, yeah. Thankfully, Angie and I are in a time and place in our lives where we just don't care what other people think. You know what I mean? We just don't care. So if other people, like our daughter, is not stoked about our choices in life, we just, you know, go live your own life. We just don't care. And I think for many younger people, trust me, when I was younger, I cared a lot what other people think. So if you do care what other people think, don't think that that's bizarre or bad. It's not. I think as a general rule, and this is obviously not absolute, there are exceptions, but I think as a rule, younger people care more about what other people think and care more about getting accepted. As you get older, trust me, that becomes less important and you become more sure of yourself as you get older. And that's, again, not guaranteed, but it's kind of a general rule. People are much more worried. Oh, this looks so cute on her. Much more worried about what other people think when they're younger and, you know, wanting approval. I think because we're used to our parents getting our parents' approval when we're children and teenagers. So when we are in our young adulthood, we still want that. But as you get older and you get into your 40s and 50s, you kind of lose that caring what other people think, you know, and you really become more sure of yourself and your own decisions. Like, I don't think I would have been as accepting of Reborns myself or been as okay with posting it and being so open about it. Like when I first got into Reborns, I was still keeping it on the pretty much on the DL. And that changed as I got older. You know, as I got into my mid to late 40s, I started caring a whole lot less about what people thought of me. You know, in the first 3 or 4 years I was into Reborns, I never posted not even one doll on my personal page. But the last couple of years, I've really kind of gotten into this attitude of I just don't care what other people think. So don't worry about it if that's something you worry about, because it's very natural for younger people to worry about that. I think as you get older, and it's, again, not guaranteed, everybody's different, but as a general rule, as people get older, they become more sure of themselves, more sure of their decisions, and they really start to care a whole lot less about what other people think. You learn as you get older a lesson that I wish I could, if I could, I would impart this into everybody's brain who's younger, which is that it's your life. And you should do what you want with it. And you're going to make some good choices, and you're going to make some bad choices, and they're all good. Because even the bad choices are a chance for us to learn and grow. So don't ever be ashamed of your mistakes, because we all make them, number one. Number two, as you get older, the mistakes get progressively less. And number three, every mistake is a good thing as long as you learn something from it. Okay? It's a chance to learn, and a chance to grow, and a chance to be a better version of yourself. And that is how you look at mistakes. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes. But don't let mistakes happen without anything coming out of it, okay? Mistakes are a chance for you to learn and grow and change and be a better version of yourself and for your family. We all make them, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, mistakes are a good opportunity for you to learn and grow and be a better version of yourself, if that's what you're meant to learn. But I'll tell you, from every mistake I've ever made, there was something to be learned. And as long as you learn those lessons from your mistakes, the mistakes aren't bad. They're not regrettable. I make mistakes. I spilled the milk. Yeah, you spilled your bottle, huh? We tried a cup for the first time with Asha, and it spilled all over the floor, and she got very upset, and we told her, it's okay, it doesn't matter, huh? We went back to a bottle for now, but when she's ready to try again, you know, we'll have the cup ready, and we'll try again. And if it spills, it's not a big deal, is it? It's not a big deal, huh? Huh, Asha? Yeah, you're so cute. Asha, 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 Asha. So here's Asha. I love her pigtails. She's got like the hard, coarse wig hair. And it's so cute because it makes her pigtails look like Mickey Mouse ears. And I just love it. Put your head up so they can see that beautiful face. There we go. Look how cute. Asha. Asha. She's so cute. Anyway, guys, alrighty, I will chat with you later. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Take into consideration what I said. And by the way, I had someone, Barbie, who apologized to me for all the comments she makes during the video. Please don't apologize. I love reading your comments, and the more the better. I love reading your comments. I love hearing your point of view. All of you guys, I read every single comment, just so you know. There's never been a comment on my channel that I haven't read. I read every comment, and my commitment to you guys is no matter how many followers I get or subscribers I get. By the way, subscribe, leave a comment, like, and share the video. I will still read every single comment. If I had 1 million subscribers, I would sit down and read every comment. I really enjoy reading the comments. It's really important to me to understand what you guys are saying and to understand your point of view. So please don't ever apologize. The more comments you leave, the better. It gives me something to sit down and read, and I really appreciate it. And we'll say goodbye to Ivy Jane. Ivy Jane, there she is. Look at that little face. How could you just not love this kiddo? She's so cute, huh? And she's got the most softest, most beautiful blonde hair. Look at this little girl. And it's thin like a toddler's hair would be. You know what I mean? It's really thin and fine, and I love that, huh? Can you say goodbye to the aunties? Bye-bye, aunties. I will see you next time. Good girl. Good job, Ivy. I love you. All right, ladybugs, take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.